What is up, fellow bench warmers? This is your daily fantasy quickie. What's up, guys? Welcome to another quickie. It's a late night quickie for today. My name is JJT of the Fantasy Bench Warmers, and with us is Commish Eric. Today was a slow day in the NBA. 4 games. It was an okay game. It was an okay 4 game slate. Tomorrow, though, would be wild because it's 15 game slate. All 30 teams will be playing tomorrow. Commish, week 3 in the books.
It's done.
Yep. Week 3. That was a fast 3 weeks that we had. Lots of things happening, of course, at the forefront. We'll talk about him a little bit because we've seen some trades going around about this person. But I just want to ask you this. I did ask you this before we started, but player that you are very disappointed with.
Player that I'm very disappointed
That you
with,
have.
right?
A player that you picked, you were a bit high on this guy, but for some reason, just not there yet. And
Jalen Green. Jalen Green. Yeah, and that's not injured, because if you're injured,
yeah, that's not injured. That's not injured.
Lot of players. Jalen, I don't have a lot. I have, I think, one only. That's the draft that we did. I had picked him a little high there, but I was higher on him this year because I thought the efficiency would improve, the scoring would be certainly higher than what it is, and steals. The steals not even won a game as far as I know. He's shooting 36% field goal, and he's becoming a little too scoring dependent. That's kind of like Jordan Clarkson before. So that is not what I was thinking. I was hoping his progression would be. I was hoping more like an Anthony Edwards, not as good in steals or defense, but at least there's like 1.2, 1.3 steals, and the assists I hope was there, but so far it's not been there.
Do you think Kevin Porter's emergence, or at least somehow semi breakout, has hurt him a bit?
I don't think so. Because if you look at the lineup of Houston, I mean, one point guard won't really take all the usage. One good point guard. They don't have really anybody else there, like Ty Washington, Dyshon Nix. Those guys are very unproven. Jalen Green gets minutes with those guys. He should be able to dominate the usage, even from those people, and he hasn't been able to do that.
And maybe there are sample 2 guard lineups there that the top, just talking about Donovan, Darius Garland, or Trey Young and DeJounte. 2 elite guards who have somehow shown that they could coexist. Although, of course, compared to these guys, Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. are relatively younger guys and might not have yet that natural chemistry between them. Or he might just be struggling. He started slow last year. He might just be a slow starter.
I think so, but that is possible. It might be a slow start for him. I think the guy that probably hurts him more than KPJ is Sengun. Sengun has started to play well. He has gotten more of the, I guess, the secondary assists, secondary offense creation from Jalen Green. So I think that's the guy that hurts him the most. But even with that, I still think Jalen Green has a gear to go. And it's just this guy, when his shot do not fall, the rest of his game, it's just not there. It's obvious, when you watch his game, when he's struggling, his defense fall off, everything falls off. But when his shots are falling, it's really, really good. That's what makes him very.
He's more engaged, right? When his shots are falling. He's young though, and I think these are traits of a very young player, right? Easily the offense kickstarts your whatever other things you need to do on the court. Mine is probably Gobert, I think. Mine is
Okay.
Gobert. I just feel like of all the moves that happened during the off season, I slept on the Donovan Garland move. I know we're gonna talk about that in a bit. That Trey, Dejounte, I had doubts about that. And somehow I just ended up with lots of Gobert. I think I had 4 or 5 Goberts in a lot of teams. Of course, the number of teams I have is a lot too, right? So, but I just he started really well. He started really well, and then when Carl Anthony Towns played better, he started to fall off a bit. The rebounding are a bit disappointing. The blocks, like we've been talking about, haven't been there, and now he's out. I know it's due to illness, but um, yeah, hopefully this one, the next few weeks, would really get
Among
him going.
among the three you mentioned, the Cleveland situation, the Atlanta situation, the Minnesota situation, a lot of people had the Cleveland one. I had the Cleveland one as the one that I think would have hurt both players, Garland and Donovan Mitchell. I had this Carl Anthony Towns Gobert situation. I like Gobert's ability to adjust more than Towns because I felt like the rebounds and blocks will be stable. So
Yeah,
far, that's not been the case. I agree with you, but I think it's small sample size in a sense in the blocks situation. I think that will recover. I think the rebounds he has shown that he can get the 20 still. He had a couple of games. So I'm not that worried there, but I think outside of those rebounds and blocks, the other stats will suffer for Gobert because I see how they're using him. They're not using him as the guy who gives the picks in pick and roll. They're just letting him stay in one corner. So that would hurt him. He's certainly not a top 20 guy this year.
yeah.
That is for sure. That is for sure.
Yeah,
But
in
his
fairness, I
teammate
picked him
Anthony
at around
Edwards,
usually the 30s, right? I mean, he's
but
been
a lot of
picked there.
managers picked him in the top 20. A lot of managers were comfortable picking him in the top 20, and that probably is a mistake for this season.
Yeah, and I think
Aside from Anthony Edwards, who's
a
also
lot
in the
of
top 20.
a lot of managers also downplayed that situation more than the other situations, right? The Cleveland situation and the
Because he's a
Atlanta.
center. I think
Yeah,
because
that's
he's the
another
center.
thing. He's a center,
Yeah.
probably, and the other situations are like they kind of play like similar rules, right? Donovan and Garland. How are we gonna split the scoring? The same thing with the Dejounte. Although I think I remember you mentioned that the Dejounte situation um could not affect him as much.
Yes.
I think you mentioned that
Yes.
early.
We were high on
And
the John Tate this year. Yeah.
yeah,
We
not
were high on the
high
John Tate.
first round, but not as low as how others were
Ah,
feeling.
I was gonna pick him 15th if I can pick him 15th, right after the first round. 15, 16, early second round, I would have picked. I picked a lot of the John Day early those rounds. So as high on the
Interestingly,
John Day.
I picked him. I picked him 14th in one league. I picked him and Paul George back to back, 14th and 15th pick, and that was the draft that I felt that I didn't do as well. But yeah, that's the one that's doing very well right now.
I have some other players I think are struggling, like Al Horford. I mentioned Anthony Edwards. Al Horford a little lower, but a lot of my drafts,
Yeah, that's another
um,
person, another guy.
a lot of my drafts would have been way better. I have Wendell Carter Jr. over Al Horford. I remember that in every draft. They're always there, the two of them. And just as I was gonna pick Wendell Carter Jr., he gets picked one or two slots before, and I have to and I panic a little and I reach on Al Horford, and that has been the biggest mistake so far of my drafts. Al Horford will not be a top 80 guy where he was picked. We'll be lucky if we see him in the top 100 this year, and this is without Robert Williams.
Yeah,
This is without
yeah.
Robert
I think
Williams.
his
So
role changed as well with the new
yes,
coach,
yes,
new system. They've been using lots of Jalen Brown
Brown.
and Tatum. The usage. I mean, even Marcus Smart is really in the background already. You won't really notice
Yes,
him. The other day he had a double double, but that was a rare double double for him. That was a rare good game fantasy wise for him. So yeah, I mean, let's see. It's still early. Lots of things still can happen. we talked about Donovan and Garland. 2 games already we've seen them, and Garland looks really good. I mean, I don't know if it's just the excitement of not being able to play around 2 weeks, or they're just, or Cleveland is just playing really well.
Cleveland's playing really well. And they're gelling well. They're gelling well. Garland, my concern is health wise. This guy, people don't see him as an injury prone guy, but he was an injury. Was it his first last year in college? I think he got injured, right? Coming into the first year in the NBA, he wasn't. I think he wasn't healthy. That's why one of his problems there. So he's an injury prone player. He hasn't found rhythm, but he's really good, as you can see, as you
He's
said.
good.
Even in 2 games, he's really good. But if it's not the eye, it's the knee. If that's not the knee,
Yeah, that's
there's
weird,
something
right?
else.
I
So,
mean, he missed a game already after playing 1 game, and it's a
yes.
different injury.
Yes, but Garland and Donovan, I compared them to the Devin Booker Chris Paul situation. They can coexist, and we overestimated the effect on both of them. Today, both of them had 29% usage rate, so that's high. That's high, and that means both of them will be probably, if they can continue that, which I think they could. Both of them can easily reach the top 30 if they continue to be having those kinds of usage, because both of them are good, as you said. Both of them are
Yeah.
good players.
I mean, it's a great fit as well for Donovan. I mean, overall, looking at the Cleveland, Cleveland adds a closer to their team. More experienced closer to a team that's a combination of young players and proven vets like Rubio still there. No, I don't know if you still remember, but Ricky Rubio is still part of the team, and
Rubio, Kevin Love has
Kevin
been
Love, right?
solid.
They've
Kevin Love
been
has been solid.
good,
Caris
but they
LeVert,
know their role at this point. I
yeah.
mean, they don't demand too much from their teammates, but they just play in the background, do their thing, like Kevin Love. So it's a great, very exciting team to watch. Donovan and Garland leading the way.
Levert's decent so far, so he's been also okay. But Evan Mobley, maybe a guy that I just want to mention, given this 29% usage for both. Mobley's been 12% today.
Yeah,
That is very low. Again, that's another another problem. You have to look at these things, because that's where you can see, can he bounce back or not. Can he bounce? He only took 7 attempts, and that's a problem. No, that's a problem. But I still think it's a buy low. I doubt somebody as good as Mobley would be this bad. No, I know a lot of managers are worried. I keep on saying buy low, buy low, buy low, but buy low doesn't mean that when you buy low, automatically he improves. It might take time, but I'm very very confident that he will still be a top 50 guy this year. That I'm confident. But if you pick him in the top 30, then that's on you. We didn't have him. We didn't have him there. We didn't have him there.
yeah.
But top
We
50
also mentioned that he seems to be being picked way
with
way
higher.
early, really high,
Yeah.
really high, third round, not even the fourth round, right? Sometimes second round. So yeah. One guy playing well. Well, before we go to this guy, let's talk about the Toronto situation. I think that's the biggest news today. Siakam already going to be out, what, 2 weeks? I think it's two,
Two,
2 to 4.
he's gonna be reevaluated in 2 weeks.
All right, so yeah, around
Dr.
that time.
Eric got it again. I told you guys that the average of this groin thing is 2 to 4 weeks. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be 1 month. I feel it's a month.
Yeah.
2 weeks is reevaluation, but he'll be out for a month. That's my
So
guess.
so contrary to what we felt or believe, wherein
Yeah.
Boucher and Achua would be the main beneficiary of Siakam's absence, a new guy pops up. Just like, this is classic Nick Nurse, right? Classic Nick Nurse surprising us, and he didn't really put Boucher in the doghouse, because Boucher still got the minutes. He still was able to be decent, but not the Boucher that we want, right? But Kaloko, what's the first name of Kaloko? I don't even know the first name.
Christian Coloko.
Christian Kaloko.
Christian Coloko. He's I know this guy. I know this guy because he plays for Arizona in college. He's a solid guy. He is athletic, and I know him because in the draft process he was kind of low. He was kind of underrated, and I was using him as an example versus Kai Soto. I said that if Coloco is not going to be drafted or going to be drafted very low, what's the chances of Kai Soto? Because this guy impressed a lot of teams during the
Mhm.
draft process. So this is not surprising, but he's limited. He's not going to be ball. We got a comment, will he be like ball? Ball's more, multifaceted in that he can take threes also. Coloco probably is going to be rebounds and blocks. And I compared him to Walker Kessler. If if you're gonna gamble on Kessler, there's no reason why you don't gamble on Coloco,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of see him as a younger Clint Capella.
yeah.
Um,
You can. I can see that. Yeah,
yeah. So he started had what 6 blocks. I think he also had 11 rebounds. Um, Solid game overall. Does this stick though? I don't trust Nick Nurse to make this a regular thing. I just feel like he'll probably rotate depending on the matchups. But I also wouldn't be surprised if this sticks and just let Boucher and Achua come off the bench. What do you
I
think?
think it's six. I think it's six. He started a couple of games this year when someone was out. I think when Scotty Barnes was out, he was the one who started. He was the one who started and not Boucher. Boucher was injured at that time, but not Achua. I think there's 2 or 3 games he started already. So this will stick, I think. But the thing is, I'm not worried for Boucher. I think Boucher. You should see the rotation of Toronto. Aside from their starting five without Siakam, the bench is Achua, Boucher, Otto Porter, Tad Young. They're
Yeah,
really long, really long team, and I think Boucher will still get 20 plus minutes even off the bench, and that's all he needs. So he's still okay, and I actually would prefer him over Coloco. I think he just
probably more
has more track
consistent,
record.
right?
Yeah, more consistent. Imagine
Coloco,
us saying Boucher is more consistent. Uh,
but Coloco is a rookie,
yeah,
and as always with rookies, we expect them to be a bit more inconsistent. I guess if you look at the rookies this year, it's only been Banquero who's been really consistent. Even Keegan Murray
yeah.
has struggled a bit so far. So yeah, Coloco, add him up. If you still haven't, if you're in a shallow league, if you're in a deeper league, he's probably been picked up already. Um, Russell Westbrook, second, what's his? Is this the third game he came off the bench?
Fifth, fifth game.
Fifth game off the bench?
He has 5 games off the bench already. I
So,
wrote. I
and
checked
this is
that
what,
out.
the third good game? Is this all 5 games were good? No, I think this is
Yeah,
the third good game,
this is
right?
his average in 5 games off the bench: 18.8, 5.8 rebounds, 7.2 assists, a steal, and 2 3 pointers.
How many turnovers?
I didn't that I didn't see, but who cares? I mean,
Well,
and shooting 50, 45, and 75. Free
see,
throw, 3 points, field goal.
that's not bad,
So
right? That's good Russell
yeah,
Westbrook.
yeah, good
Not the
Russell Westbrook.
best, not the old Russell Westbrook, but that's already a big upgrade from I've seen Russell Westbrook being dropped in a couple of leagues in
In our
uh,
league, invitationals, he was dropped.
yeah, who picked him up. But he was dropped, and then that was when he was still starting before he was moved into the bench role. So does this stick? That's the biggest question. Does this stick? Is this a sell high moment for
Sell high.
you?
Yes, yes. Sell high moment. The thing is, he's off the bench, they're still losing, and that matters for me because that means the Lakers will have to do something. Remember, they don't have their draft pick. So it doesn't matter if he's playing well. If they're 2-10 or 3-9 or whatever record there's urgency for them to turn that around. And there's no other moves there than trade Russell Westbrook. There's no other moves. So he will be moved if they continue to lose. And if he moves, I don't know what will happen in a new situation. Either he gets benched, he gets, asked to go home, he will play a role, whatever. I don't know. That's too uncertain. So it's a sell high moment.
But this is a good thing for Westbrook too. If he gets more, I mean, not the if he gets moved part, but more of the way he's been playing, accepting that bench role and playing well in that bench role. I think that says a lot already. That's a progress already for the Lakers because they've been asking him to do that since last season, and there's always been some debate between him and what coaching staff or whoever or the media on whether he should do it. So I think this is good fantasy wise. Sell high, enjoy it while you can,
Sell high.
and probably you should
Because
sell high.
the possible areas where he can be traded is Utah and Indiana. I don't know any other team that really will take that contract. So Utah and Indiana, and I just don't see those two teams playing him as much as the Lakers are doing right now. The Lakers need him. That's why the Lakers are trying to make it work.
Yeah.
But those two teams, I don't know. I don't know what will happen there. So too much uncertainty. So I'd rather sell.
Now, who do you sell him for? That's the biggest question.
That's hard. Yeah, that's kind of hard because
Kyrie.
yeah, you can sell him for Kyrie if you want. I think that's a good trade. Gary Trent, maybe. Gary Trent is struggling for the Raptors, so maybe you can consider Trent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ball.
No, no way a manager who owns Ball will trade him for Westbrook. Maybe a manager who owns Jalen Green. Jalen Smith, maybe, who's also struggling. The Jalen Green, Jalen Smith. You can probably do that. If the manager is a little worried about Jalen Green, they might buy it. Especially with Jalen Smith, I think that's very possible.
Yeah.
Can certainly get that.
So there are a couple of scenarios here. One is Westbrook being traded, and that's probably the worst case scenario for any
I think so.
Westbrook owner. That's the analysis of commish. That I also think he'll play a few games and then sit him a lot of games too. That could happen if he gets moved to a team who's supposedly tanking. Right. The best case scenario for you is if this sticks, right? That's the best case
This
scenario.
sticks and they win.
And
This
they
sticks and they
win.
are decent and they win. Yeah.
Yeah. In between, he'll probably have some good games and some bad games. Like he's had a string of good games already. I just feel there's still gonna be games where he's gonna be struggling. But the good thing is right now he seems like getting that old Russell Westbrook feel, right? Attacking the basket, setting up his second unit teammates, even with LeBron and AD in the lineup. He's been able to do that
Here's
in
the
the second.
thing. The shooting has been good. He has shot the ball well. But knowing him, I don't think this is sustainable. That's just my thing. If he's shooting the ball well, it's easier. It's like Jalen Green that we talked about a while ago. When he shoots the ball, when Russell Westbrook makes his threes, which he's been making them, he has had what? He had three a while ago. He had three the other game. He has 9 the past 4 games. Shooting the ball well. His top is, as I said, 50% shooting. It makes the other warts in his game more tolerable,
Acceptable.
because he's more engaged. He's contributing. He's happy. And everything. But do you trust that to continue? I don't. I
No,
don't.
the
I don't think it
shooting,
will.
no. But the counting stats, maybe.
But if the shooting is not there, I doubt it's gonna be a good soldier and then do good things.
Yeah.
That's just what I think
Yeah,
about him.
this is a very interesting turn of events. So, Russell Westbrook suddenly became a fan favorite by the Laker fans as soon as
Yeah.
he strung some good games. So that was a quick turnaround. Last week he was probably public enemy number one by the Lakers fans, and now if you look at it, he's been cheered on, he's been egged, he's been given standing ovations or claps or whatnot, right? So interesting turn of events. But yeah, sell high. Lastly, before we end this quickie, Kyrie. I know we've been talking about Kyrie for a few episodes now, for a few quickies now, but today or the past couple of days, you've seen some Kyrie being traded
A lot.
a lot.
Kyrie.
Like I've seen three or four, I think, from yesterday and today. Um, some people asking if they should accept this deal for Kyrie and all. And it's been, the challenge with this Kyrie thing is that it's so hard to value him. How do you value Kyrie? If you have Kyrie, what would you accept for Kyrie? Yesterday we talked about an offer. The other manager pulled out the offer. It was Jamal Murray and Bojan for Kyrie, and you said it's a good deal already.
That was a good deal. Yeah, that was a good deal. What are the other deals that we got? I found the other deals
There
absurd.
was
Yeah.
the one here was Kyrie for Banquero and Brogdon.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, Brogdon's been up and down, but he's been solid. Banquero, the counting stats, but he's around the 80s, 80s, 70s, 80s. So that's okay. That's an okay deal. But we saw some that are more
This
sell lows
one's
and
the
that.
last one that we saw that was shown to us was weird. Because wait, let me see. It was a 3-for-2 deal, and it was a weird deal actually. Kyrie, Kuminga, and Miles Turner for PJ Washington and Klay Thompson.
Yeah, that's very sell low on Kyrie. That's a very sell low, I would say. It's like Kyrie became the plus one, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I think you should not do that. I mean, I know you want to trade him, but that manager probably is assuming that Kyrie has no value anymore, and to trade him, they have to attach very more interesting pieces to attract the managers. But in that way, you're giving yourself another problem. You're letting go of a good piece like Miles Turner,
Yeah.
right? So that's not gonna help you. I'd rather keep Kyrie and Miles, right? Even if Kyrie goes to zero, still better. You still have Miles, right? I'm not really high on Clay. I'm sorry, but PJ's okay. But I still think he's just low end 80s or 90s. But Miles at his best is top 20, top 25, right? Although injury prone, but still he's healthy now. So not the way to do it. Not the way to do it.
There was another one that was asked. It was Kyrie and Aldama for Banquero and Jaden.
Kyrie
Jaden
and Aldama for
McDaniels.
Banquero and Kyrie and Aldama for Banquero and who's the other one?
Jaden McDaniels.
If I own Banquero and Jaden, I would probably not take that deal. On the opposite end this time, because and Aldama is okay, but he's slowed down a lot, and that's without Jaren Jackson. We got some positive updates on Jaren Jackson this today, and then Kyrie can go to zero, so you can get nothing for Banquero and Jaden McDaniel. So I won't take that deal. Too risky. The other side is too risky.
Yeah. So yeah, there's still a few more. I think. I just couldn't find the other because it's in the different chats. But yeah, it's so hard to value Kyrie at this point. But if you own Kyrie, do you have any Kyrie?
No,
I think I have two. I have two in our FBW leagues.
I never got the chance to draft him, the position that I'm comfortable in.
What's unfortunate for me is that in that team, I think I also have James Harden, so I lose two players.
That's big. That's big. Yeah.
Which is really big. So yeah, we'll see if I can survive it. But yeah, Kyrie, you can trade him, but don't ask for don't trade too low. Don't trade too low. I think there's
Yeah.
still a chance that he plays. Where this, he probably won't retire. I mean, I think that's what's um getting managers to panic a bit. he might retire, he might stop playing. We talked about the possibility of that happening, but there's really no signs yet of, that happening. It's just the first part of the suspension. So maybe enough this week, hopefully we'll get a clearer picture of where that goes. So yeah, but if you can sell for a good value, not the, like Commish said, a wasted some wasted value wherein you probably end up not really getting much for him, right? So yeah, plan that trade there. There will still be some managers who would want to take a risk on Kyrie because the reward is definitely high when he plays.
Yeah.
So I think there will be especially those that have really done well in the leagues, right? First place teams, second place teams, third place teams, right? Those teams would probably take some chances at this point, and if for a nice value, low value, why not, right? Why not? All right, that's it. Anything else, Commish, you want to stress out for this quickie?
None right now.
All right, tomorrow would be a big one. Tomorrow, 15 games, like I said, 30 teams. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an exciting day of fantasy basketball and, of course, the NBA real life basketball tomorrow. So, yeah, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Please, we're trying to get this road to 1,000 subscribers in our YouTube channel. So please, guys, subscribe to our channel. Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell as well, so that you get updated whenever we upload a video, which is pretty much every day. So yeah, with that, we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.